Only new Arm & Hammer Clump and Seal cat litter guarantees an odor-free home for 7 days.
My name is Erin. I manage a pet sitting company. I honestly feel like I have the most experience with litter boxes of any person I know. Clump and Seal is totally different. Even after 7 days, I did not notice any odor. You're not getting the dust that comes up. There was some sort of sealing magic happening.
New Arm & Hammer Clump and Seal cat litter. 7-day odor-free home guaranteed. Look on the package for $3 off.
Buy a box, see what you think in 7 days, because it's legit.
You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network. Now, the largest new media platform on the web and your number one source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Tiona Hobson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies.
This is AfterBuzz TV's Being Mary Jane After Show.
We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show.
It's AfterBuzz TV's Being Mary Jane After Show.
All right. Get it. Boom. Get it. Shake it. Shake it. Ooh,
Rockin' to the beat.
Way too much fun.
Exactly.
Welcome to AfterBuzzTV.com. This is your after show for Being Mary Jane, Season 1, Episode 4, Mixed Messages. And I am your host, Megan Thomas. Who are you, beautiful ladies?
I'm Tiona Hobson.
And I am Ashley Gray. Be sure to @me on Twitter with all of your questions at Hey Ashley Gray.
And we have two special guests with us this week. I want you to give it up for Erin D. Spears and the beautiful Lisa Vidal.
Double it up.
Thank you for being with us
We're so glad you guys came.
Yeah.
Thank you. We're happy to be here.
Because this show would not be, this episode, we needed you guys here.
Right.
Because, I mean,
because
Break it
someone
down.
spilling secrets
Out the bag. You see what I'm saying?
Big time.
What's the best part of working on this show?
Man.
First of all, the
Ladies
people.
first. Ladies first.
I think we have a great cast.
Yeah.
Talented, wonderful, beautiful cast led by the beautiful Gabrielle Union. And it's just really, it's so great when you have a bunch of creative, wonderful, talented people working together and we're all having fun.
Right.
Oh, having a ball led by Salim and Mara. You know, just a very comfortable, relaxed environment. I think that everybody's shooting for that higher level. Everyone wants to raise the bar. So we're coming in swinging.
Right.
You know, and it's like that's just the norm. So you're trying to take it to that next level. Get that BMJ, baby.
and let me just tell you guys, he has been hilarious all night. Like, you guys are in for such a treat because dude is hilarious. Like, seriously.
He's having a good time, man. Good time.
Right. And he is so not gay.
So all y'all ladies out there, I mean, if y'all want a little bit of the Aaron Spears, go ahead.
This club so hot.
So talk about that for a minute. How hard has it been to play a gay character, or has it been hard at all?
You know, in the beginning, I think it was a process because you don't want to judge a character.
Right.
You know, you have an entire, population of people who that may not have been their social choice. That was something that they came out of the womb with, and it was kind of maybe pushed to the side or shoved within all their years. But you've known, like, I mean, I got people in my family. Come on, man, he was 4. I knew he was gay when he was 4.
He was looking at my shoes.
Yeah, you know, you just and they just kind of grow and they mature, and sometimes they're not allowed to be their own person. So for me, it was just finding that space within me, knowing that one, I do have a son that watches me and does everything that I do, and being able to, I guess, be true to that character, not judge him, and just play it as a real person who just so happens to be gay.
Right.
So speaking of that topic, how long did it take you to perfect that Gallant walk?
5 seconds.
Oh,
I saw it myself.
Right.
I was there.
You know, it's like we have so much fun on set, and she's a nut. You know what I mean? Man, we just had a ball doing that scene, and Salim was just throwing it left and right, and we were just like, yo, let's push the envelope.
Exactly. As a matter of fact, I remember asking him, I was like, could you give me a little more
swag on that jag?
I got to see a little more.
Right.
Did you know the whole time, like when you read the pilot, did you know your character was going to be gay, or did they kind of throw that at you later on after you cast?
Man, I got hit with a curveball.
Okay.
It was there, but it just didn't jump out at you. Like the character description was, he's, with his lover of 5 years, and I'm thinking lover, female. And I got to the audition, and they were like, "Well, did you read the script?" And I'm like, "Well, it wasn't a script, but I read the description." He's like, "So everything's okay? You're good?" And I was like, "Yeah." It's like, "So you're cool?" I was like, "What do you need to tell me? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what's going on?" And
like,
she was
spell
like,
it out for me.
"Yeah." And she was like, "He's gay." And I was like, "Come on, how you just gonna throw that on me right as I'm going in?" And she was just like, "Look, he's not flamboyant. He's not over the top. Just be you." And that's who he is. You wouldn't know unless you saw him with his lover. So I was like, all right, cool. And I'll have to change that.
And like your character hides that he's gay, like from your coworkers, from pretty much everyone. How relatable do you think this topic is in society today?
Man, I think it's like crazy, ridiculous, relevant, because you have so many people that are afraid to be judged, afraid to be fired, afraid to be looked at different just because of their maybe sexual preference. It's really a touchy subject. I think it may bring some light and shed a little bit on the inside of a lot of people may feel more comfortable in coming out and saying, look, this is who I am. I do a great job. It really doesn't matter that I'm gay. How about this? Am I making these checks right for you and your company?
Right.
So, hey.
Because then we have characters like Lisa's, who's like, oh yes, I got this information, I'm going to use it to my advantage.
She's so trifling.
I'm glad you said it.
Right. Yes, that scene where you're sitting there and Mary Jane spills the beans. You are so excited. And I could just see it. I was like, oh, that is really Lisa.
Yeah.
She crossed over. I think this is Lisa.
Exactly.
She's so excited.
It is so not Lisa. He can attest to that.
Yeah, man. She's mad crazy cool.
It's so funny because I remember the first few scripts I read. I told Mara, the executive producer, the writer executive, I was like, people not gonna like Kara. And she was like, you know what? Kara needs to be, she needs to come off strong because you need to understand how serious she is about her career and her ambition. And then you're gonna find out why. And then you're gonna understand Kara more as the series goes on. And you're really gonna understand who this woman is and why she is. How she is. Right. And there are so many women who need to kind of keep their emotions out of stuff because they're in a power position and they can't be mistaken to be vulnerable and emotional even though they got all kinds of stuff going on. And so that's some of the stuff that's going on with Kara. And as we get deeper into the character, you're going to find out a lot about her. She's not a mean person. She's just she can be crass and ambitious because she got those 2 little boys to pay for.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And you're going to find out what's going on with her husband.
Yes, sir.
Can we get a little juicy juice? I know. You're going to give us a little sneak
Well,
peek?
we already know she's going through a divorce.
Right.
And so, there is a reason why she is angry and she's bitter and she's frustrated, like so many women who have been wronged, who are, are going through divorce or have been divorced. And so that's about as much as I can give away without giving
Spilling the beans.
Oh, girl. We represent a lot. He cheated. That's what he cheated. It's going to be good.
Exactly.
Cheated with Mary Jane. Boom.
There it is.
There it is.
You had him too. Yes.
Wow.
Spicy Boricua.
Right, exactly.
Well, speaking of character development, Mary Jane on this, episode specifically, she is kind of classified as a role model. However, I don't think that she's too much of a role model, maybe to the public eye, but it's always so fascinating what happens behind closed doors. So do you guys think that she's truly a role model for young girls? Come on, man, she cheating with a married man.
Doesn't everybody have something in their closet?
We do.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what Mary Jane addresses, is the imperfection of being human and making mistakes and having addictions and being vulnerable and how life gets you and how you could be so confused and not be able to put things in perspective and keep in line about who you're supposed to be, who you're representing yourself to be. And that's what I love about the show, is that you see these characters, these women in control. They're ambitious, and they may look one way on the outside, but there's always something going on the inside.
Man,
and though
true.
she's not perfect right
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
she's making mistakes.
Yeah.
But let's keep watching and see what happens.
Hey, look, the whole show, including including Mary Jane, is like an onion or a
Yes.
Oh,
or
yeah.
artichoke. You know, it continues to open up and unfold. Now,
Right.
see, I'm sitting up here with all these women. Now, come on. Now, if you're in a situation and you know this gentleman is not married, or you think he's not married, and he puts it down, and you're in love, you can't just click those feelings off. And
No,
on
I
like a
truly
light
understand.
switch.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, so that's kind of the dilemma that you're in. And then, okay, you can maybe say you're wrong because now you're continuing to progress it. But man, your heart is getting pulled. The strings are like bling, 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 bling.
No, I totally understand that.
Yes.
And I get that it's a dilemma. However, when you're up in front of all of these young girls and you're speaking on your affair to all of these girls and you're talking to the dude's wife, like, I just think that that's borderline trifling.
You got to have some cojones. You know
I'm
what
like,
I'm saying? How dare you?
Really?
I'm just like, I mean, I'm happy that she ain't snatching because I might have snatched.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I'm a little rich.
Right. Yeah.
Let us know what
snatched,
you
dude.
definitely let us know what you think. Make sure you go to iTunes and you can easily subscribe to our podcast. Just search AfterBuzz TV Being Mary Jane and you'll find our cute little podcast. Subscribe, rate, comment, give us 5 stars. Tell your friends, tell your mama friend, your cousin friend, your friend, all of these people, and just let us know what you think about this episode in particular. Is Mary Jane a role model, or
a trifling H.O.E.
Right.
She
getting ratchet.
All right. Well, let's get up into this episode. So, at the very beginning, we see that Mary Jane and the girls are kicking it at the club.
Yeah.
Yes, I saw you drop it like it was hot, Lisa. You dropped it.
My knees are still good.
Still got college. Your meniscus is in place.
I have a question about that scene. You guys look like you were having so much fun. Were there real drinks involved?
Well, it was the last scene of the night. And we was having some fun.
That's
Oh, see, that was real fun then.
Oh, we were having some fun. We were just crashing it. We were like, all we had to do was dance. Nobody had to talk.
Yeah.
Right. So, and it literally was the last scene of the night. So we're going to have some fun. And the DJ was bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like being at the club. That's
It's-
right.
yeah.
It looked like
That's what it
it.
looked like.
So much fun.
You guys
Definitely.
look like you had so much fun, and we saw you, LaTarsha, out there breaking
Right.
it down.
Right. Oh, yeah.
You're gonna have to come back in and show us some of those moves.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Seriously.
And so then we see Mary Jane makes the classic mistake of texting your boo thing that don't need to be a boo thing, talking about some, I'm at the club, I'm out with the girls, we
still
coming
gonna meet
over, we meeting up. And of course he's like, I don't think so, I'm stuck at home. My question is this: why does she continue to say, "Well, let me know for sure. Let me know,
Girl, what's
honey?"
that?
No, he said that was no.
Exactly.
That means no. He's stuck at home.
Why do the mosquitoes continue to go toward the flame?
Once that liquor
Knowing
gets
that,
a
John.
going and the
Yeah.
feelings get the
That's
flowing,
it.
I'm just saying. Ooh,
Hey, I'm gonna
killer.
tell you. Sometimes the loving is good. You can't let it go. It is what it is.
Are we speaking from
You know?
experience, Aaron?
Hey, I mean, you know.
Good
You drunk
one,
texting
Lisa.
over here, Aaron?
I'm not
I know
drunk.
your
Hey.
wife. You better chill.
Yeah, all I'm saying is this. I'm very real when it comes to relationship and men and women.
No, yes.
Man, come on,
That's
man.
the thing on this show,
Yeah,
too.
it's like, that's just, to me, that's just real. That's what happens.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
it may not happen for everybody, but if you're at the club, you with your girls and the drinks are flowing, you may not be trying to pick them on somebody you don't know.
Exactly.
You're going to go to a usual flow.
Exactly. No matter how trifling they is, it's like, you know, I'm about to call my boo. I'm about to call
Exactly.
my babe.
But I
You
think
know
she
that's
should have
good.
stopped texting after he said, "I don't know, I'm not gonna get away from
Right.
it." I would have stopped at that point, been like, okay, well, I don't want to come off too desperate. I don't want him to think, he's the only man on
Right.
my roster right now.
right.
So if he's got someone else, I'm gonna pretend at least that I have someone else too.
But he's telling you he loves you, and he's giving you a ring, and he's proposed to you. That's our hope.
Yes.
Women
Yes,
are emotional.
You know what? I'm not
Come
gonna
on.
lie. I would have
That's
sent a
right.
couple of more texts.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
I would have. I ain't gonna lie.
he's not responding to me. I'm not responding
That's
to
what
him.
I'm saying. After that,
What
the
do?
question mark. Don't ever do
Look at
that.
my
See, let me tell you something though, ladies. I mean, we all get tempted, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
There are just so many beautiful things out there to look
Yes.
at.
Who
But
the devil was a lie?
you
Especially on
know,
this
I
show.
kind of feel like you know, why not use some of that? And Aaron is his beautiful wife. I got to meet her. Stunning.
Thank you.
he knows this. It's like he does this. As a matter of fact, him and I had this conversation. My husband and I drunk text. My husband and I, he'll be sending me all kinds of sexy little things.
Right.
So it's like a game that we play, that we kind of imagine, but we do it with ourselves.
Exactly.
And that I kind of feel like in our society today, and I don't mean to sound so bold, but I'm gonna say it, I kind of feel like people give up too easily. They kind of want the excuse so that, you know, and I'm not saying everybody, but I'm just saying sometimes with a little more effort being put into your own relationship, you can make something happen.
Look here. Oh, man. Go.
Yes.
That's what I tell people. I'm like this. If as a gentleman or female, if you put as much attention into your wife as you do the chicken head, you'll be surprised at the things your wife will do.
That's right.
You'll be surprised.
Yeah.
Right. And then that's a good point that you guys bring that up, because that is something that happens with Andre and Avery. And their scene where they're in the bed, and Avery's like, well, like, basically, let me try to put some effort in and let him wake up to morning head with this pillow.
My neck hurts.
Lazy head.
Avery needs to take some lessons from Mary Jane.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm just saying.
Yes, she
that
does.
is true.
You gotta move the pillow, dog. What you doing?
Right, and
I give
that
you credit for the effort, but
right. I don't know if you give her credit for that.
It is.
That was like B plus.
Okay,
effort.
so if that's your, then I gotta talk you through the rest. Then that's gonna be your effort. I need a little coaching, baby.
Right, and then of course Mary Jane says something to that effect when they're at the luncheon, and she says, you know, number 2 ain't always bad. You're almost number 1 without the pressures of it. But she also says you get to see number 1 and you get to correct the mistakes that they're making without, you know, being in their position. And I think that goes to what you just said, Lisa, about relationships. You know, if you are looking like, okay, how can I make sure this stays fresh and new and make sure I keep my relationship number 1 in my life, then you're not gonna have any problems, you know. At least not these kind of problems.
No.
You have to nurture your relationship.
You have to. Each person has to take care of themselves and, you know, make themselves, you know, kind of like listen to your partner's needs and what they're looking for and what they're attracted to and what they want. And you kind of try to be a little bit of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And play some games.
Exactly.
In this episode, Andre explains to Avery that he's not getting that in the relationship, and that's why he did cheat, not condoning it, of course, but, you know, we did see a little bit of that, and he finally admitted, like, it feels like you married down and I haven't paid you back for doing so. And it hurt.
And I think and that was profound when he said that, because I feel like there's a lot of men that probably go through that.
Feel that,
like, Aaron, like, not saying that this is something that you've ever gone through, but I'm sure you know some guys that might have felt that way, like they've been emasculated by their woman. And so they're just kind of like, I mean, I go for somebody who sees me, who makes me feel like the man that I am.
I think a lot of men sometimes these days are, 1, insecure, but 2, you have a lot of men, because there are so many women that are dropping drawers at the drop of a dime, that you forget to learn how to be a man. So now when you approach a real woman, you haven't had any experience at that. So now you got this great woman that has this bomb job, but I don't know how to be a man. I just know how to be a player. I just know how to, you know, cater to what I'm used to. But now how do I approach this woman? How do I get her interest? She intimidates me because she makes money. She really doesn't need me. So it needs to be this flipping of the script where, like, real men need to stand up and really need to, you know, nurture their relationships and be engaged, man. I mean, like, dude, who can't get some cootie, man? Come on, man. You know what I'm saying?
Put the video games down.
And you know what else, you know, to speak to that too, like powerful women who are successful, they need to know how to be a woman too.
Right.
And let the man be the man, so that, you know, you know what, it's something that you kind of work on and figure out, because, you know, I mean, just even for myself, like my success and being in the limelight and all of that kind of stuff, you know, in my marriage, you know, was difficult, because it was like, my husband was like, you kissing who on what show?
Like, you enjoyed that, girl.
And all that attention that, you know, I get and everything, you know, that's not easy for a man to deal with.
Right.
So it's like, we got to talk about it. We got to, you know, see, baby, what are you uncomfortable about? You know, I'm yours. I'm here. And so, women, sometimes they need to understand that. Don't take advantage of that, but really try to adjust the power and where it's at, so that a man can feel like a man and a woman can feel like a woman.
That's a great point. I agree.
Right.
That's our thing. We kind of need to lead at some point in the relationship.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. You can find your place behind it, or beside, I should say.
Even
Because
though
I don't
we wear
think
the
anyone
pants
should
for
be
the-
behind. You know what I mean? Beside a strong woman, but you do have to talk about it. You do
Yes.
have to figure out where each other's place belongs, so to speak,
Yes.
and you have to be comfortable with it. Otherwise, insecurities build, and then that becomes the dissension that becomes between you two. Because as long as there's communication, see, no one can get between that.
Right.
If I know how you feel about this other person, or I know what you like, I can walk down the street and be like, yeah, you think he's cute, or yeah, I know that's your type, but that doesn't bother me.
Right.
Because guess who you going home with?
Right.
You're going home with me.
Right.
I have no problem pointing out this guy that you
Right.
think is attractive, or vice versa, because there's no gap between us, because we communicate. You know everything. There's nothing I can't walk into a situation and not be aware of a past relationship or occurrence between you and another man.
Right.
I know what you did, dude. So I mean, it's all good.
I feel like these two need their own like relationship talk show. I'm over here taking notes. Like, wait a minute, how to land a man?
Hey, it's the Mark. It's the Mark and Kara show.
That's it.
Exactly. So speaking of relationships, let's talk about online dating, because on this episode, you and Mary Jane were talking about online dating, and you were looking at the white man, and she, I mean, ain't nothing wrong with it, believe me, y'all. And then
they're fabulous in all cuts.
Right.
And she actually met a match, and who happened to be Wayne Brady. And so how do you guys feel about online dating?
Gosh, I've been with my husband a very long time, but I have experience with my friends. And you know what? My heart goes out to single people.
Every married person says that.
Because that, to me, is such a struggle. It's so tricky, navigating through all of that. And I just feel like there's so much insincerity that goes on with online dating, and people get misled. I mean, but in the same breath, there are many wonderful things that happen. You just have to get really savvy at navigating through all of that online stuff, because there are too many people that go on there and they're just not who they really are. And who they represent themselves to be.
And they're not looking for a relationship.
Yeah,
for
and it's
draws,
and you know what? I have a
be
problem.
honest,
I personally have a problem with clicking on someone, and if they don't just have the perfect, whatever the sizes are, that's considered perfect. Right. It's just like click, pass, nip, pass. It's like, what happened to who a person is? Now, I know you have to be somewhat attracted to something on the outside of a person. I get it. But what happened to really getting to know a person for who they are?
Right.
The genuine qualities in a person. What happened to that? Online dating makes that very tricky and very difficult.
Yeah.
I can tell you what happened to it.
What happened?
Quick panties dropping, and men that are searching for that. Now, the thing is this, see, women make the world beautiful because you can look past surface and superficial. See, we're very visual. The first thing that's going to catch me is your visual. With women, you can learn to appreciate the other things of a man. I mean, I'm not talking bad about this person, but I'm just using like Jay-Z as an example. Yo, he ain't the cutest cat in the world. You feel what I'm saying? But he got crazy swag.
He does.
You got a chance to know him and who he is.
Absolutely.
Man, a man can. No dude is dating a female Jay-Z. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
but it needs to work the other way around, because dudes need to stop trying to just get a girl for what they look like, and they need to go deeper than that. And I think that that's been a little lost.
Well, I find it very interesting that we are discussing this, because on the show today, Wayne Brady's character didn't actually see Mary Jane's profile picture, yet they still communicated and they talked, and Mary Jane did say, well, tell me something about yourself that is not in your profile. And I feel like I'm glad that, the show did highlight online dating, because a lot of people do it these days.
Yes, and I'm actually glad that Kara's focus was this guy has 4 kids. Is
Right.
he going to be able to pay attention to me?
Yeah.
And that she chose not to send a picture of Mary Jane to the Wayne Brady character.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, okay, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
for
this is how
character-
you're supposed to do it.
Yeah.
Or this is like a nice guide. You know, don't put your picture up and then just highlight yourself and see if you get any hits just because of who you are, you know, your credentials or anything like that. So, yeah, it's cool.
Exactly.
I think that, I mean, I'm like very straightforward. I think that's possible from a male perspective, but it's going to be very hard coming from a male that is used to receiving certain things. If it's a gentleman that's not out there, that doesn't get a lot of female attention, yeah, I'm going to look for that earnest, wholehearted, oh, girl. Man, come on. If I'm getting it like that and I got it like that, I'm not searching for Betty Crocker's.
Well, I mean, but if you got it like that, you're probably not online dating
That's
either.
true, too.
You know what I'm saying?
Very
You
true.
probably
Getting
getting
it
it.
like
But you're right. But then the online dating is your quote unquote back pocket.
Uh-oh.
That could be your booty call.
And his character did say, I'm a professor. A lot of the girls aren't really looking for me. I'm too nerdy. And, you know, so he isn't getting that attention that...
Mr. Let's Make a Deal, Wayne Brady.
Right.
Yeah, I mean...
By the way, I thought it was funny how, who was it, was like, that looks just like Wayne Brady. I was like, child,
that is Wayne.
Well, it was on the computer screen. I couldn't really
Hey,
tell at
I-
first. I was like, wait, is that Wayne? I can't tell. Okay, it's
That's
Wayne.
funny.
And if we didn't realize that it was Wayne Brady, the commercials definitely did remind
yes,
us.
indeed. That was WB.
BT honors.
You know what else, though? Seriously, I think women need to stop lowering their standards as far as, don't get me started.
Drop the mic.
Hey, I'm with you on that.
Women
away.
need to stop lowering
Yeah.
their standards.
Don't
they
settle.
need to know what they want and respect themselves enough and love themselves enough to say, this is what I want and this is what I deserve. And not to be pompous about it, but to be true to it. And I feel like that is attractive to a man.
It
Right.
is.
You know, that is attractive. Not when you all like, well, all right, well, yeah, he cheats on me, but but I love him, but I like him. Yeah, well, he bought me a purse. Oh, well, whatever it is.
Right.
What is your standard? Let's get that back up there.
Exactly.
I'm going to treat you according to how you allow me to treat
Exactly.
you. If I see that you're not that type of woman, I'm not even going to come at you that way. But if I see you're that type of woman, I'm going to come at you that way because you're
Right.
going to allow me to come at you that way.
And
That's just it.
Right, and it's funny how when MJ goes on the date with Sean, her phone keeps going off, text, which is rude, by the way, if you want to date. Very rude.
First of all, turn off your phone.
Vibrate, that's what the little
Right.
side click is for.
Her mother didn't
Right.
teach her about man.
Right. But I do think, like, just what you were saying is that you only allow people to treat you the way that you, whatever.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what
that
I'm saying?
thing. Go on.
But what I'm saying is that's what he did. Sean was like, look, you clearly got a lot
Thank
going
you.
on. I'm going to let you handle that. Enjoy
Didn't
your
you
night. and I'm
immediately
out.
love him?
I
Right.
did.
And you like, that's a man.
Can he stay around?
Right.
Can he stick around?
Let me
'Cause-
put my phone away.
Right.
Because it reminded me when Mary Jane's father took her out on that date to,
yeah.
I love that he does that, teaching her how she should be treated. And then you have this guy here who's treating you that way.
Right.
And I just wanted him to stay. I was like, see, that's what you
I
need, Mary
know.
Jane.
Right.
That's the
Thank
man you
you.
take home to your daddy.
Thank you.
And
But that's
speaking-
why there's always something wrong with us, the person, when we're not looking for that. When we're not bringing that into our life, we're
Right.
going after the wrong thing.
Wrong
Right.
things.
Yeah.
And speaking of wrong things, was that the purse that Andre bought Mary Jane that she took on the date? Is that the same one she's like toting around? I'm
might
like,
be.
girl, give it up. Like, why are you still carrying this? Like,
It's fabulous. I'm
No,
sorry. It is a fabulous purse. It is so beautiful.
No, she needs to stop. She has enough coins in the bank to get her a new purse, and she needs to give that a rest.
Right,
mad.
and that is the quote for the day. A woman must not depend upon the protection of man, but must be taught to protect herself by Susan B. Anthony. Protect yourself. Get your own purse, girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. She got
But let me
enough
have that
chips.
one.
She got enough-
Yeah.
Right.
Can I get your hand-me-down?
Yeah. She does have enough chips to get her own purse.
Yeah.
In
Wait,
that
right.
regard.
Shoes on my
Yeah.
feet.
Exactly.
I got it.
You better
Get
sing it.
Get it. I got it.
Da, 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 da.
I depend on me.
Got it. What?
Shout out to Beyonce. Thank you, girl.
I know. Okay, so then at work, we see that Kara and her big mouth has found out a little juice, a little tea, honey. The Mark is
all
out
the
here switching gallantly. And what do you think? You guys obviously know what's going to happen. I think she's going to tell him he needs to come on out on air.
Yeah, I think so.
Kara will definitely tell him that he needs to come out.
It's a rating. That thing's
a ratings thing. She's very strategic. She's thinking about the numbers and everything. She's on it.
That's true. And then she's gonna be having to wear pink shirts, pink and lavender.
Pink and
lavender and paisley. Yes.
You know what?
With no suit.
He's gonna be like, yes.
I'm not even, see, some women are gonna defend, some men are gonna defend. Man, I'm like this, dude. Color doesn't make you gay or not gay.
No.
I could be pink from head to toe and beat your. So then, what's that make you?
Oh.
If I'm pink, shoestrings, pink shoes, pink, and we get into it and I beat your. So now what does that make you?
That is true.
You feel? So it's just a shirt. It's just a color.
Right.
But I get what you're saying.
Kara's going to be like, put that pink shirt on and walk gallantly across
that joint and announce it.
And then announce it like this, honey. Like that. And swirl.
Right. Make sure you're moving that booty back and forth.
But what I loved about this part the most is the fact that Mark forgives Mary Jane and he forgives her so easily, and I wouldn't have forgiven her mainly because she did not return any text. Like seriously, all you have to be was like, my bad, I'm so sorry, or let's talk about this later, Mark, I'm sorry. She didn't return a text, and you just
it's kind
forgave
of
her.
My secret to hold, so to speak.
Right.
And I kind of put it in your hands. So now who am I to blame you for not keeping my secret?
Right.
Yeah.
You know, don't get me wrong. Yeah, she could have returned my call. But I mean, I think we have such a relationship that I know why she didn't do it. And I understand. And I'm putting you in a tricky situation, you know, with other people. And you know what? I need to handle that myself. I need to man up and just be, hey, this is what it is.
Yeah, but also Mary Jane, you can tell, doesn't deal. She doesn't want to deal.
Yeah.
Right. She doesn't want to deal.
Yeah.
So her way of not dealing is just not saying anything.
Yeah.
Right. You know, and that is actually something that, you know, is one of the lines in the show as far as what carries through between her and Kara, because Kara is all about telling you the truth, telling you about yourself, telling you let's deal with this. We got to do something. We got to change something, whatever. Mary Jane is very much about like
escapism.
I don't want to,
I like that.
And I just wanted to ask about Mark and Kara's relationship, because we've seen you guys in the beginning, it was, you know, kind of tense, and now you guys are working together, it's even more tense, and now with you knowing the secret, are we ever going to see them finally kind of really getting along, and or is this a journey with you two right now? Lisa's smiling right now.
Personally,
me an evil look.
Honestly, I really don't know. I'm just saying it's a journey that I think we both are a boat we're on that we didn't necessarily ask to be on, but as things continue and the show evolves, and if her ideas begin to work and I change from this uptight, you know, suit wearing newscaster to this new hip, you know, social media guy that all of a sudden has this trending program, hey, I have to respect that. And now I have to look at you a little different, like, man, you do know what you're talking about, girl.
Because she knows her stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Kara knows her stuff. Yeah. And she knows what works and what doesn't work. And that's what makes her really good at what she does. But it also is what makes her, you know, bossy and, you know, controlling. Because it's like, look, I know this works, so you need to listen to me. I don't want to hear about all of that. This is how you got to do it. So, you know, it's that combination that kind of makes her that way. And I think that, you know, whatever the issue was between Mark and Kara, you know, we didn't get a whole lot of history on that. So I kind of made my own stuff up about why Kara, you know, had a thing with him. I think she found Mark attractive. And I think the fact that Mark wasn't giving her the time of day pissed her off.
It's like, get them.
In the sense of like, you know, what? You're not
right.
respecting me and noticing me and this and that. What is wrong with you?
Ooh, mm-hmm. And that's why she's so excited to find out.
That's why she's like, I knew he had
it. I knew it wasn't me. Right. It wasn't me. Damn eyebrows.
That's all me.
Man, when they hit me with them eyebrows, dude, I was cracking up. Because my eyebrow does have a mind of its own. Like my son's eyebrow the same. I'm like, dude, I don't control that thing. It just does it. So
I did not write the line.
I love that. Right. I said, Mara, please keep that in. It's funny. That's hilarious. You know?
So then we've got the family here. We've got the Pattersons, and Mama Patterson.
Ooh, she was a sneaky little one tonight.
She really
was on one tonight.
She said somebody stole her bracelet, and she kept accusing Tracy. Why do you guys think she accused Tracy?
Because she's white. And she doesn't.
I mean,
what? She's white, and she doesn't want a white daughter-in-law. Yeah. She doesn't want her in her house because she's white. She don't like the way she look because she's white, and that's just the bottom line.
I think she's. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
I think she was hitting like all the stereotypes: the white, the heavy set. I don't like her attitude. She just doesn't like her. Period. And anything she can point out to make her the enemy, she's gonna do that.
Yes.
Yeah, because Tracy's been around for so long at this point that you'd think that she would have just gotten over it,
right?
But she hasn't. So there must be something there. So I mean, it had to have been premeditated. But it's at some point, I mean, give up or just move on because she's there. She's your grandchild's mother.
Right.
At some point, just accept the fact that she's there and she's not going anywhere.
I don't think Tracy stands up to her though either.
Yeah.
She's got that little bit of shame in her, and so she allows that to kind of rule the relationship when it comes to her standing up to mama, because mama can be trifling. Mothers can be trifling when they don't like somebody that you bring home. They're like,
Yeah, and that
they start thinking about
sabotage.
how
How can I do this? How can I do this?
Right.
How can I do it?
And what's crazy is that the one time that Tracy tries to stand up for herself and she says, I wouldn't do that. I actually care for you.
I love you. Yeah.
She was just so mean and cold to her.
So cold.
And I will have to say this. I fault Patrick a lot, because if your mom does not like your baby mama wifey to be, then that is your place as a man to go, you know what?
Absolutely.
Mom, you got to stop doing this. Or to say something and say, Mom, if you have a problem with her, you come and talk to me about it. Yeah. Don't treat her like that. Come and talk to me.
This is why I said last week that I do not feel the love between the couple. I just do not. I don't feel that Patrick necessarily loves her. I feel like they both were on drugs. They both had a vulnerable moment. She got pregnant, and he was like, dang, I have a kid, I'm a man up, I'm a step up. And they ended up being together, not because they love each other, but because they had a kid. And I feel like the mom can sense my baby doesn't love her and I don't like her, so she has to go. And even when she was leaving and she was like, Patrick, don't touch me. Like, Patrick just looked like, all right. And like, he looked like he cared, but not really. He was just like, okay, well, bye. So I mean, if you really love someone, especially if this is your child's mother, you're going to leave with her, or you're going to just console her and just go speak to your mom. We didn't see any of that.
Right.
True.
They don't love each other.
I think
broke
it down.
Right. I think Tracy does love him, but I don't think the love is reciprocated, especially because of how he acted with all this. But I also think that Patrick is like so messed up in the head at this point, especially with trying to get back on his feet. You can't take care of somebody else when you're trying to figure it out for yourself, especially as a man, I would say. As a man, I'm pretty sure any man is like, look, there's certain things that I need to have in place in order to make a space for a woman in my life. Unfortunately, I don't have that.
Well, he doesn't have the space because he's living with his mama.
Right.
Get your own space before you take care of me.
And that's another thing. He's living with his parents. He's not paying rent. And his sister constantly reminds him of it.
Right.
So, he's constantly being put in his place by everyone in his family that he can't even stand up to his parents because they'll just throw it back in his face. Well, if you're not happy here, leave. He can't leave because he can't afford to live on his own. So he's kind of caught in the middle too, where he can't really do anything about it.
Hence the cycle of dysfunction.
Yeah.
Hence the codependence and all of that stuff, which makes it so difficult for both parties.
Exactly.
The person with the addiction and the family. And it's so sad all the way around because you so desperately want to see Patrick pick himself up and get himself together, but then you understand the pain and the paranoia of the family being like, I don't trust you anymore. I don't believe anything you tell me. So it's almost like the worst, unhealthiest environment that he can be in. Man. Even though they love him so much, it's the wrong place for him to be.
It's really hard to be a man when you have no foundation to stand on.
Right.
He doesn't even know who he is as an individual anymore. He's lost all sense of pride within himself.
Right.
It's like, man, the only thing that loves me is this coke. This coke gonna be here. And it's gonna tear everything else up around me. But if I need it, guess what? It's gonna be there. So, man, he has a tough role to try to pull himself up out of and try to become someone. It's really gonna take something to flip over. And then he got shot down with his best partner from the idea that was kind of like his gung ho, I'm back, and then you were like, dude, I'm not even messing with you.
And
like
it's so
that.
beautifully played by the wonderful Richard Brooks.
Oh,
he's
we
so
love him.
terrific, isn't he?
Yes.
He was with us
Wonderful.
not
2 weeks
last
ago.
week, but he's awesome. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, so, and I also think it's a good thing that his dad only makes him pay rent by peeing in a cup. I mean, that's good rent,
Family discount.
If you can't do that, then you really don't deserve to live there. That's your only rent. And I appreciate the fact that he actually told his father the truth, because he could have lied, but he was like, you know what, it's going to come back dirty. And I did use.
Fill it up, make it hot. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean the whole rent thing with peeing in the cup, it kind of like just it's a big disappointment, because I feel like so many men in today's society are just like pathetic. It's like, why? No, kick him out. Like, his parents need to kick him out. Forget pissing in a cup. No, get out, do what you got to do, but you cannot stay here. And I think a lot of boys today, they're so reliant on their parents, or so reliant on someone. Oh, they're going to love me anyway. Let me just screw around and do what I have to do. I'm going to drink. I'm going to smoke. I'm going to do whatever I feel like doing, because I'm always going to have my family to fall back on. No, kick him out.
Well, or, I understand sometimes, things are so difficult. So if your child needs to stay with you for a certain amount of time, you create a limit on that time. And then you require them to earn their keep there. You need to go out and you need to contribute. You need to contribute to this situation while you are here, while you are also building yourself and setting something up for yourself, because you cannot stay here the whole time. I think it again it cripples them even more.
It does.
That whole situation builds character. It's like, you kind of need to bust your face right now, man. I love you, but don't get them stitches. You know what I'm saying? You can stay here for a little bit, but I need you to get those stitches.
Yeah.
And that's going to make you a man.
Because even Mary Jane is like, well, you live here, but what bills do you pay? So actually, you're not contributing anything. You're actually a burden.
Right.
So, I'm just like, ugh, kick him out. Over it.
Right. So let's move on to... of course, our favorite couple, Andre and MJ, and they're in the bed watching TV, and he talks to her about his wife giving him a lazy head. What do you guys think about him talking to his mistress about his wife?
That's tricky.
You never.
That's tricky.
I just want to smack him upside his damn head. Don't get me started. I'm like, that man would have been in the furnace if he was married to my Latina.
Exactly.
I'm like, I want to just smack him. Like, how dare he? How dare he? And Omari Hardwick plays him so well.
Ooh, he does.
He's such a doll face. And I'm like, Omari, don't come next to me. I'm going to smack you right now. It is so trifling.
That's one of those intimate moments that you've now shared between you and your wife with another female. And see, that's that knife between a relationship.
Right.
Because if you don't tell your wife that you've told her, now when she's looking at her, she has one up on her. She has something on her.
Right.
So see, that's even further separation. So I can see where I'm getting a divorce now comes into play, because now you're playing one side of the fence.
Yeah.
You're no longer straddling. You're trying to make the commitment to that one side.
Exactly.
But man, dude, I don't know. You can't go there unless you really gonna do that divorce. I mean, you gonna really let this thing ride all the way through, sign them papers. If you're not signing the papers, that's a bad move unless you tell your wife what's up. Yeah.
And then, of course, you see that she has that one up. And so at the luncheon, when Mary Jane is there with Avery, I mean, I'll say this. I think Avery's was wrong. Don't bring your business up.
Hey.
That was messy. Don't bring your own mess up.
Trying to
in
be
a group
smart.
Of people. Right, trying to be smart.
Right. Yeah, and don't get caught, in a situation where you bring it up and then you lose the battle because Mary Jane shut you down.
Right.
Like, she gave that speech and was like, boom, now what?
Wouldn't it be great if we did everything right? But we so don't.
Called herself. She's trying to pull her card and end up getting her card pulled.
Yeah.
That's like. Do you feel like when you were watching that scene, do you feel like the other women in the room maybe caught wind to that? Because I mean, she kept poignantly looking at her I'm dropping.
I didn't. No, I don't think the other women caught it because it's so unbelievably extraordinarily inappropriate, and it would be sort of like, What?
Why would you?
You know, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
If anyone caught it, I think it would have been Mary Jane's friend, and we may see that in future episodes, like her talk about that, like, "Here, girl, I saw you give an eye to such and such at the benefit. What was that about?" You know, because she has that kind of like sassy,
Miss Bradley Evans,
Frankly Evans, and so of course. At the end of this episode, we see that Andre comes and tells Mary Jane he is getting a divorce after she comes back from this fabulous date with Sean.
Right. Who believes them? Raise their hand.
They always say they're going to get a divorce
no
until you
sign
raised. The papers and actually have moved out. I'm not going to believe you.
Right?
You're not, but then you're emotionally invested. So now that takes your emotion even deeper. See, I guess that's the fault and the beauty of women, because you're so emotionally connected. Sometimes those emotions can get you into trouble. So I'm saying I'm getting a divorce. Now that makes you believe or think that I am so far into you and I'm moving to your side of the fence, when lo and behold, I still haven't signed the papers.
Right.
We're still going to marriage counseling. But have I told you that?
Right.
No.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So now,
you know what this is all about? Selfishness.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what it's all about. It is all about selfishness, because it's wanting to have your cake and eat it too.
True indeed.
Right.
That's it. That's what it comes down to.
Got the spoon.
And I liked what Lisa said when we were watching the episode, when he said he was getting a divorce, and she's like, "But don't you think that he cheated on his wife with you? So what would stop him from cheating on you with someone else?"
Yeah.
And statistics show that second marriages don't
They're
work
worse
out.
than first ones.
Yeah.
All right, let's get down to predictions. All right, so everybody give me one prediction for next week's episode.
Ashley, you go.
I predict that this isn't for next week's episode, but I predict that during this season, Mary Jane and Mark will hook up.
Oh,
what?
Yeah,
Hey.
I
Mark's
think so.
gay.
I don't think he's. I personally don't believe that Mark is gay.
She got a whole
I think he's. No, seriously,
show.
look. Look. Let me tell you.
That's a twist.
I don't think that Mark is gay. He just, when I saw him, I didn't get a gay vibe from him when I first saw his character. He's too masculine. He hides it too well. And I feel like they're such good friends, and they're gonna have a drunken night. And look at the way they looked at each other in this episode when he was like, "I forgive you," and they were just looking at each other. I'm like, and when he leaned in for that kiss, I'm like, he gonna kiss them. I think they're gonna hook up. It may not be serious, but I think they're gonna have a make out.
Serious?
People make out. I mean, hello.
Right, exactly.
They just might make out.
Just to make out?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, fun make out. Kiss.
I can't top that, so I'm just not going to say anything for my prediction.
I'm going to say next week we saw a little bit of Mary Jane kissing her boo thing, David. I think she's going to have another hookup with David.
I like David.
I love David, but I don't know if they're going to hook up.
You guys are free to give us predictions.
I don't have any.
Or spoilers.
Or spoilers.
But you know what I will
remember
say
what happened.
is I really can't, but I love the insight that you have in terms of Mark and Mary Jane.
Mm-hmm.
I have no inclination that that's going to happen, but I do remember that he does admire her in a way that I don't know where that's going to go. You know
maybe
what I mean?
she gonna change him.
All right, where can your fans find you online?
I'm at Aaron D. Spears. Pretty much everything. Facebook, Twitter, the whole deal. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm at the Lisa Vidal on Twitter, and Lisa Vidal, just Lisa Vidal on Facebook, and at the real Lisa Vidal on Instagram.
Oh wow, people just be
A
taking
lot
your
of
name
Lisa
left.
Vidal.
That's it. They be just jumping on the Vidal Sassoon.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
All right, where can we find you guys?
Hey everyone, I'm Ashley Gray. Make sure that you follow me on Twitter at HeyAshleyGray and on Instagram at Ashley Nina Marie Gray.
And you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at the Tiona Hobson.
And as always, I'm Megan Thomas. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, and that Instagram at Meg Scoop, like scoop of ice cream. And don't forget to go to iTunes and subscribe to our podcast. If you love us, you'll do it. Until next week, we'll see you guys later.
Peace, baby. Make it do what it do.
Make it go whatever.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.